Welcome again, dear grade 10 students, and here we are going to train you for determination of angles bounded within intervals. We made a training exercise previously just after explaining the families of angles, and here are more training exercises to make you very confident in solving such exercises. The question is usually to determine the angle alpha in each of the given cases. There are given cases under certain conditions. You are given some trigonometric lines as you see here, and in each case you have a given and you have a condition that's represented as a boundary using an interval. Okay, and now we will start with the first example. We have to find the angle alpha in case sine alpha equals half and alpha belongs to pi over 2, 3 pi over 2. First of all, we press on the calculator, shift, then sine, then the given value, which is half. The calculator gives 30. That means that the alpha, the angle I'm searching for, is from the family of 30. It's not necessarily 30. It may be from the family of 30. Because you saw in the table of families of angles that they have the members of the family of 30, for example, or 60 or whatever, have the same sine and cosine of 30 and 60 and whatever, but the signs are different, plus or minus, according to the quadrant they are belonging to. So again, we press on the calculator, shift, then sine, then the given value, which is half, and the answer is 30. So I know that alpha is from the family of 30. We draw a trigonometric circle. All students take chemistry, moving in the positive sense. We go back to the given condition. Alpha belongs to pi over 2 and 3 pi over 2. So pi over 2 is here and 3 pi over 2 is here. Moving in the positive sense, I am either in quadrant 2 or in quadrant 3. Then alpha belongs either to quadrant 2 or to quadrant 3. Now, to sum up my answer, I have to notice the sign of the trigonometric line given. Sine alpha is positive. Then I am definitely in quadrant 2. Why? Because I know that in quadrant 2 sine is positive, while in quadrant 3 tangent is positive and sine is negative. So again, I go back to the condition. I shade the region between pi over 2 and 3 pi over 2, which is this region, either in quadrant 2 or in quadrant 3. Then I notice the sign of the given. Sine alpha is given positive. So I make sure that I am in quadrant 2 because in quadrant 2 sine is positive. Then I ask, what is the member of the family of 30 that is in quadrant 2? It is 150, and 150 belongs to the interval 90 and 270. It is in this interval, and this is how to determine alpha related to a remarkable angle. Another example, part 2. I have that cosine alpha is half and alpha belongs to the interval minus pi 0, which is indeed in degrees minus 180 0. Again, we press on the calculator, shift, then cosine, then the given value, half, and the answer is 60. So that means alpha is from the family of 60. It's not necessarily 60 because 60 belongs to the first quadrant only. Now where is minus pi 0? Where should I have to shade? What region should I have to take into consideration? I have to shade in the positive sense from minus pi to 0. Here is minus pi and here is 0. So this is the shaded required region according to the given interval. Then I have to sum up my answer. I go back to the given and notice the sign of cosine alpha. Cosine alpha is positive, and I know that here cosine alpha is negative, and here cosine alpha is positive, then definitely I am in quadrant 4. So alpha belongs to quadrant 4. I will repeat again. Alpha is from the family of 60. Using the given interval, alpha belongs to minus pi 0. I move in the positive sense anticlockwise. So I shade the part between minus pi and 0, which is either quadrant 3 or quadrant 4. Then alpha belongs to one of these quadrants. To sum up my answer, I notice the sign given here. Cosine of alpha has a sign that is positive, which is positive. So I'm surely in quadrant 4, because in quadrant 4 cosine is positive, while in quadrant 3 cosine is negative. Now, what's the member of the family of 60 that is in quadrant 4? It is minus 60, and by this I sum up that alpha is equal to minus 60, and I make sure that minus 60 belongs to the interval between minus 180 and 0. Here is example 3. I have that cosine alpha is radical 2 over 2, and alpha also belongs to minus pi 0. Again, using the calculator, shift cosine according to the given also radical 2 over 2, then it is from the family of 45. Again, I shade the required region according to the given interval. It's between minus pi and 0. Okay? Then I shade regions 3 and 4, then alpha is either in quadrant 3 or 4. To sum up my answer, I go back to the sign. It is positive. Cosine alpha has a positive sign, then I'm definitely in quadrant 4. And by this, alpha is minus 45, because minus 45 is the member of the family of 45 that is in quadrant 4. And finally, we go with example 3. And here we are given tangent alpha equals to 1, and alpha also belongs to minus pi 0. Again, I press on the calculator shift, then tangent, because the given is tangent, then 1. I will get 45 to know that alpha is from the family of 45. I shade the region according to the given interval between minus pi and 0. So alpha is either in quadrant 3 or in quadrant 4. I go back to the given. The sign of the tangent is positive, then definitely I am in quadrant 3. So since the sign of the tangent is positive according to the given, then alpha is in quadrant 3. And what is the member of the family of 45 that's in quadrant 3? It is 180 plus 45. I don't have to memorize. I just either add 180 for quadrant 3, or I make 180 minus 45 if alpha is in quadrant 2. So in quadrant 3, I add 180 to the given value on the calculator, which is 225. But 225 doesn't belong to this interval, because this interval is bounded by minus 180 and 0. So all the angles measurements between these two values must be negatives, and 225 doesn't belong to this interval. Then all what I do is to subtract 360 to get a negative answer, and minus 135 is the final value for alpha. And in this case, we say a note that this given or this resulted value is indeed the principal value of 225.